Hello and welcome to the 100,000 Reasons for Gratitude. Please join me as we look at life through a lens of happiness. Today, I want us to expound more on the gift of creation. If you're new here, that was in the last episode, that is episode 11. We were grateful for the gift of creation. In that aspect of creation, we realized that it's not about just art, it's not about music, it's not about anything of that sort. Creation is about anything that you put out. That could mean if I'm making a meal, that's a creation because it didn't exist. But through my input, my unique and beautiful input, I've been able to make a meal that is lovely. If you're writing something, even if it's assignment, so we realize that anything that you do is a creation. And that's why we need to try and be more conscious of what we are creating, because as we know, of course, like attracts like. If you're creating chaos, that's what will come back to you. So today I want to expound a bit more on creation. But here we're looking at how are we doing the creation themselves? What are we doing? How are we being able, or how can we be able to give the best of our creations as we do? So one thing to note is there has to be I would want to say degeneration, or in quotes, a sort of dying, so that creation can come out. Now, how to look at this is from that birth comes something. In the case of, let's use baking, because yeah, as I mentioned in the previous episode, I do love baking. You'll have to crack that egg. It's so beautiful by itself. It looks amazing, but we have to crack it. We have to mix it up. That aspect of the cute yolk and the egg white, you have to combine them. That's a death, quote unquote. Like it's a beauty, but you're going to take it apart, mix it up, then create something. So there has to be an entropy of sorts so that we can be able to get to a beautiful creation. I'd like to use the concept of the human body. I believe we know that you can have a new body in a year. Everything in you gets to regenerate. We have the epidermis, our skin, that regenerates every 4 weeks. We have our gut lining every few days. It regenerates and starts. What if the body is like, no, 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 I don't want to lose that. I don't want to lose that. I want to keep it, so that then there won't be any newness. They won't be letting go of the past to bring in the new. We have our liver cells that regenerate every 150 to 500 days. We have the fat cells about every 10 years, and among other body parts, like within a year, we are a whole new being. That's creation. That's how magnificent creation is. But remember, there's the stage of entropy, there's the stage of death that has to take place so that the birth comes out. That concept for me would bring us to ask ourselves a question, yeah? How often do we allow ourselves to create from the point of nothingness? How often are you willing to be nothing in order to create something? That could mean, how often do you allow yourself to be? Consumption is a state of being. How often do we allow ourselves to be so that the creation, which is our state of doing, is so amazing? Most times we don't. We want to keep doing because we feel like that's where we get to create. But that leads to burnout. You need to be in order for you to create. And this consumption state, for me, I don't mean where you're doing something from a point of dysregulation. No, I mean from a point of regulation, where you're actually intentional about your consumption. Is it books? Are you actually reading and contemplating on it, or is it just a matter of reading, reading, reading because I need to do this, I need to read? No, once you do that, I've realized from my experience, you really don't get anything. But it's in that reading where you're really doing it from a state of relaxation that I feel like ideas come up. So that's one. We have to allow the quote unquote death for you now to be able to create something. Number two, there's the worry that we usually have where you're wondering, what if I create something but it doesn't resonate with anyone, or it is not as perfect? I feel like beauty is always open. It's like an open concept. If I'm supposed to receive something at this point, it will definitely come to me. Whether it resonates with one person, whether it resonates with nobody, but the fact that you've given it out, I feel like that's when it can now start attracting. Because beauty is there for it to be seen. Beauty is there for people to bask in it. But if we hold on to things because we are thinking that if I don't create this beauty, no one will see it, trust me, they will see it. Currently, I'm reading a book. It's by Ayn Rand called The Fountainhead. We have our protagonist, Howard, who has a different perspective of architecture. This is based in 1952, around there. And while he's doing his work, for him, his goal is to work in a point of individuality. I am not copying. There's a lot of copying. The classicism, I believe our architecture friends will be able to understand better than I'm giving. But yes, so there's a lot of copying. Everyone is trying to copy amazing pieces or architectural pieces done in Italy, in Spain. But for him, he feels we need to let your mind create. We need to let your individuality stand out. And it causes him to be, expelled from school. And then he works for a man who believed the same concept, but kind of fell into depression because of he did not allow himself to contain all that, and he dropped from fame. He used to be one of the best and then just dropped from being one of the best. He works under him for a while, then the man retires. Howard is faced again with unemployment. He goes to work where his, I'd say, friend is working. They also fire him because for him, he's looking for that expression of individuality. He has these amazing pieces within him that he feels like I need to bring them out. But if I'm copying everyone and what everyone is doing, I'm not able to be that, bring the birth of that idea. And he keeps, I like how we're taken through a process of seeing how his mind is. And for someone who, I think I'd give him an example of a person who is very certain about what he wants and does not compromise. Because we see through it all, like most people are asking him, who do you think will want that, will want those creations you're making from lines and steel? There's nothing, you're not putting any classicism, you're not putting any sort of Greek concepts. And he's like, I will find my client. And that's where I go back with this point. Like, I can assure you, there's always someone for something for you. There's always someone ready to see that creation and behold in its existence and its beauty. I feel like what matters is what is the emotion behind sending it. If it's beautiful and filled with so much love, it is definitely going to attract. It's like, that's what I feel. Third, we always have the worry that that creation may represent an uh, yeah, you may feel like if um if there's so many things on a certain thing, how am I coming in? How am I coming in and someone has already done it? My insight on particularly maybe this subject we're talking about now is different from how you will interpret it in your brain. how another person will interpret it. And if they were to tell another person about this episode, they would give it a different perspective. So I feel like you are able to create the uniqueness. I'll give an example of the Bible. During creation, God's words were, let there be birds. And right now, he just said, let there be birds of the air. And right now, we are speaking about 11,000 different species of birds in existence. He said, let there be fish, or creatures of the sea, or creatures of the water. And what happened? We have over 2 million marine species in the world right now, and some are not even yet discovered. That, I feel like, that's the potential of our creation. Sometimes we can get stuck in the hows and the who's and the what's, but we have it in us. We have this magnificent blooming flower that's within us, that's ready to just go out and do the best and be the best it can be. A fourth aspect, and the last one, is most times we always wonder, what if my perspective now is different? Is maybe 1, 2, 3 on a certain subject, and then tomorrow it becomes 4, 5, 6. That's okay. That means you're evolving. And that's the basis behind everything, because you can add on it. I gave episode 11 last time, and I still felt like there were a couple of things I had not touched on. And I know that this is a magnificent gift. If we're able to tap into it and really produce from a point of love, this is a gift given to us by God. And I thought about it, and I added episode 11, episode 12, the current one I'm recording. And who knows, there might even be part 3, part 4, part 5, courtesy of this wonderful, wonderful discovery. So let us not be afraid to create. And you remember, I repeat again from the beginning of this episode, for me, creation is what you're doing, what you're thinking, what you're feeling, what your action is about, because those are actions. What are you creating? Are you creating masterpieces that God is looking at it, is like, yes, this is my child? Are we creating so many beautiful experiences, both for ourselves and for others? So, as we finish this episode, this day or this week, or whenever you're listening to this, I want you to ask yourself these 2 questions. One, how long do we allow ourselves to be nothing in order to create something? To give up the self, the ego based, attention seeking self, in order to let creation soar from within us? Number 2, what is your reaction to other people's creation? Are they confounded in deep love? Are yours confounded with deep love, that when you look at others, all you see is love? I look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Bye bye.